Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Packer Universe podcast, aka the Pup List. This is the first takeaway with Tay and Ren. We just watched the Packers kind of beat up on the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. The end score was 30-13. And I'm sure you'll tell me, Ren, that it didn't quite feel that way. It maybe in the early fourth quarter, but in general, I mean, this was a great defensive game. This was a great game for our run game. Just the vibe of the team to me was like on point, and they overcome some adversities. I'm sure you'll remind me, that early fourth quarter where it's like, wait a minute, what's happening here? But in general, this was a really good, awesome victory for the Packers, and they are poised, I think, for the rest of the season here with a good foundation laid here. Love that they had the coin toss in their favor and they chose to receive the ball. Love that. We used to see that a lot.
The toin cost,
The
eh? Thank you.
coin toss.
Thank you. All right.
Love it. So we got the ball, went down there, and boom, boom, boom. Got it in. Touchdown. Josh Jacobs was rolling. But I don't want to get too far. I just want to get your first reaction, Ren. How was this game to you? How did you feel? What was your first takeaway?
I mean, you have the banner up today. I don't think we knew it was going to be a winter warning.
No, I was way
Okay,
off.
we knew they were wearing white, but
Yeah,
the white helmets are back.
yeah. I
It
dug it.
was below zero officially Thursday morning, so finally a winter warning. Not quite out in Seattle. It was in the low 40s. Not a warm day in that neck of the woods this time of year, but I like what you said there up front, Tay. I mean, the Packers won the coin toss,
Yeah.
and they take it. They're like, hey, we're gonna put our tempo on this. We're gonna put our stamp on it. They go get 7. It was easy, Tay. It was not
Yeah.
hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more of a physical ground game piece. Nothing crazy by the offense. They do that. The following possession to Seattle, welcome back, Edgerrin Cooper, huge third down sack, sets the tempo early. My player of the game today. I tweeted about it. I don't know if you saw my tweet about early third quarter. I said, listen, if there's a player of the game already, it's Edgerrin Cooper. This defense, Tay. This defense is playing a complete different brand of defense with him on the field, from their tempo, what they were able to do physical wise. I mean, he lent a large factor of this defense, having a middle linebacker that can play that way in the middle of that game. And you see it. He just puts the cherry on top at the end. Final play of the game, sack. Edgerrin Cooper was everywhere. Obviously, we want to lay our flowers to one Kingsley Enagbare on one drive where he's the tackler on first down, second down, third down. But really, this was a physical Green Bay Packers team today that was more about defense than it was about offense. The offense, even on the second touchdown, was pretty conservative. We saw nothing real crazy from the offense. In fact, it got pretty stale today, I want to say, in that third quarter into the early fourth quarter. They weren't able to move the ball. You talk about that 4th and 2, they can't convert. They actually lose the yard when they're at Seattle's 39. Missed opportunity there. Love the late deep over the middle throw to Romeo. It was a perfect ball. Great catch. Either you make a play or you don't, and there's no way that ball could ever be picked. So it was a great way to finally ice this thing. But there's nothing that jumps out. Obviously, Rashawn Gary a little bit there. 7 sacks on the day by the Packer defense day, and they weren't bringing a lot of blitz packages at times. Just getting pressure again and having what you had in the backfield with Evan Williams back today, and then again, Edgerrin Cooper makes a difference to this defense today. Having a middle linebacker and dropping coverage who can come up as a pass rusher, it's huge. And that's where I lay all my accolades tonight is on 56. 56 was the player of the game, no doubt about it.
And did this not happen last time Quay Walker left the game? The young guys come in and they did really well. I mean, did you even remember who Quay Walker was at any point after he left? Like, besides the broadcast telling you, oh yeah, Quay Walker left, you're like, oh yeah, that was like years ago. But seriously, it's like you need to play him. I mean, I understand Quay is the bona fide starter, but really when you are now dominating on defense with a certain lineup, especially when Cooper's in there and he offers all this, versatility, he got to do it. And obviously McDuffie's also carved out a place in that middle linebacker spot, but I mean, you got to get these guys starting, and I'm okay with sitting Quay. I was week one, so I don't know what they do. It's gonna be a tough decision they'll have to make there, but maybe this injury thing is lasts longer for Quay. I don't know. He was in like in a pouty position after that. He probably got some news about his ankle, I think it was. So who knows? I don't know what the situation is right now. This is after the game right now. We didn't hear Matt talk about it or anything, so we don't know. But Cooper, yes, you're right. Like, get him in there. Let's go. Let's start. Quit farting around with this, linebacker situation, and put one in there that we know actually works. So I love that.
Well,
Yeah,
but
go
it
ahead.
was huge. I mean, he'd been out. Coop's been out for weeks on end. We had that ankle
Yeah,
injury,
yeah,
with the soft tissue. And I will say, I know you're being a little hard on our guy Quay, and certainly he's been a liability most of the year, Tay. But over the last 3 weeks, he seems to get the Halfley defense a little bit better and has played his best version of football probably over the last 3 weeks. He's coming along. Still, certainly, he's been disappointing at times and been a liability, like I mentioned. But we'll see. I like to have
yeah,
all hands
yeah.
on deck. But again, Quay and Isaiah, they just can't do what a super physical athlete like Cooper can do. And that's that's a different breed of linebacker they haven't had in Green Bay in years. He can play, again, physical up front. He can rush the passer. He drops in pass coverage, again, things that the other two can't do. And he was everywhere tonight, man. He was. With that young energy, that's what you want in your defense. You want all those young guys that he drafted on deck, and it certainly made a heck of a lot of difference. And you have to give it to him. And listen, the Packers O-line played pretty well tonight. D-line played pretty well tonight. You just like what you saw overall from, the defensive backfield. Nice pick also by 56 tonight. So he was doing anything and everything you asked of him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first half was dominated by the Packers. They had an excellent first half. And then you could say that there was a tale of two halves here, but I mean, it's really hard in the NFL to dominate the whole entire game, all 60 minutes. So, you get into the second half, and the Packers almost had a huge momentum switch on their hands early in the third, but Gino tweaked his knee on a pass rush, and he left, which basically extinguished any kind of rebound the Seahawks were ever going to do in this game. Bringing in their backup. I mean, the pass rush was doing good on their own until that point, but then it's like fresh meat back there with your backup quarterback, and they just kind of pin their ears back. 7 sacks for this this pass rush. It's like we're asking for it. We're asking for it. Well, here it is, and it was awesome to see. Just sack after sack, pressure after pressure. I mean, I know it's a backup quarterback, but this is what you have to do. You have to go out and take care of business. That's your job. And I just love that. But then, in what many would say is classic Packers, they turn the ball over. Josh Jacobs gets the ball pounded out. And then the Hawks score right away. And you're like, oh crap.
4 plays.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Charbonnet.
you're like, okay, now they're down by the Packers are only up by 10. This is, doable for any good team. So at that point, you're like, okay, here we go again. We've seen this story so many times, and they were able to stop that. And I love that. There was an interception by Cooper. They were aggressive, I guess, when you think about it, that pass to Dobbs at the end of the game, that was great. Go for it, like put the dagger, and they went for him. I'm really glad. But you mentioned it earlier. It was that 4th down play that they went for it on 4th down. I mean, all game, Matt LaFleur to me was calling a decent game. Yeah, some of it was conservative with the running game, and then there was less pressure for Love to have to make all these plays on his own. But then 4th and 2, you got Jacobs in in a trap running back trap call, and you're like, he loves in shotgun, so they already know he's gonna get the ball, and then there's no downhill running, there's no lead blocker. That was the worst play call to try to get 2 yards, I think, all game, and maybe this year for the Packers. Ridiculous. I mean, you're trying to give them the game, give them some momentum. Well, you just did there. So that I was just like shaking my head. I mean, come on. The Packers can never really like truly give you an amazing, perfect game. This is the kind of stuff that happens. You're like, oh yeah, classic Pack. 4th and 2, a running back trap. It's like, nah. But regardless, it swung back. It was 30-13 by the end of it. The Seahawks weren't going to do anything, and it was good to see the guys' morale and their confidence really boost with this game, because I think this game particularly laid the foundation now. Building this off of this performance, it's a statement game for the against a NFC opponent that you needed to take down. And I think if I'm correct, the Rams now lead the NFC West, and now they're seed 3 in the playoff division, or the playoff standings. So yeah, it was a huge game for the Seahawks. So this builds momentum for the Packers, especially going into their their last remaining matchups. They're all crucial for us, because dare I say, like, we could still be the NFC North championships or champs. It could happen. I mean, the Lions lost today. The Vikings play tomorrow. Go Bears. I mean, it's literally, it's still up for grabs. You don't know what's going to happen. So anyway, it's a little hope I have, but the Packers are going to get in. They're going to get into the playoffs. They're not going to get number 1 seed. That's fine. I don't care about that stuff. I kind of want to sneak in the back anyway. But I've rambled on a little bit too long here, Ren. Take over for me. What do you think about this as a statement game, or just kind of what it looks like for the Packers for the rest of the season?
Again, I mean, we talked a little bit about it with Detroit, how they, the Lions last week against Green Bay in their house played a really physical brand of football. I thought that's what the Packers did out in Seattle, in their place. Obviously dominated a very good opponent. It's unfortunate you saw Geno go out. Obviously, who's their backup? Sam Howell. Not good.
Sam Howell, yeah.
Yeah, he really didn't do anything in the second half. I wasn't afraid. I mean, obviously, the Jacobs fumble leading to the quick 4-play drive, ultimately with the Charbonnet touchdown, was what it was, Tay. But they didn't have a chance. I mean, even when Green Bay was unfortunately giving them too many opportunities, anytime Howell dropped back, he was facing a lot of pressure from the Packers. And he was just inaccurate, couldn't get the ball out quick enough. So it wasn't really a big concern. Again, beating a quality opponent out in their place with the 12 bag, as I said, this is the 4th straight game of 30 plus for the Packers. That's what they need to do. They need to go out there, put on, a lot of points on an opponent. I said they win by 10 or more. They did just that, by a lot more than 10. And you roll on back home against the Saints next week, and that's what you want to do, and be ready for a stretch run that you get prepared, healthy. The Packers are, I think, one of the healthiest teams at this point in the season of any team. So they're going to be dangerous when we get to prime time in January. That's what I can tell you, Tay.
Yeah, I love it. You're right. And they can't look past the Saints, because Saints could give them a run for their money. They have the quarterback issues down there, but we will see it soon enough. Monday Night Football, you got to get up for that. But tomorrow night is Bears Vikings, and that one is huge. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you the Bears are gonna win, but it'd be nice, and I'm gonna root for them. But yeah, so there's some really good matchups in the NFC late in the year, and especially for the Packers. I mean, this is fun. This is gonna be fun football. But another great win today. Yeah, like you said, in the 30s for points, 4th game in a row. Love that. Yep. Things are looking up for the Packers, especially at the end of the season here, at the right time. You gotta love it. Go Pack, go! I don't have much more to say about this win, Ren. If you do, that's great. You can finish up with that. But I just wanted to say to everyone out there, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and supporting us at Packer Universe Podcast.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave us with this. I don't know if the Packers didn't want to pull out all the rabbits out of their hat, because this might be the team they see week 1 of the playoffs. And it seemed like a pretty vanilla offense. So, hey, you still, with your vanilla offense and a physical defense, handle the team in their house. So if it happens again, I'd feel pretty confident about what the Packers are bringing to town with a lot more wrinkles. So until episode 299 on the regular episode today on the pup list.